to see some serious shit.
It actually starts well. And I'll start with the good stuff, because for the first 10 or 15 minutes, Battleship has this kind of retarded energy and self-knowing silliness about it, which makes it endearing, and you think you might end up enjoying it. Once we've got the setup of the plot out of the way in the first couple of minutes, which is basically that NASA discovers a planet with conditions very similar to Earth. So it builds these massive communications arrays, one of which is in the Hawaiian Mountains, to broadcast a signal and hopefully make contact. And after that, we meet Taylor Kish's main character, who's a sarky wastrel in a bar with his brother, a naval officer played by Alexander Skarsgård. And Taylor sees a beautiful girl at the bar across the way, who orders a drink and a chicken burrito. But the bartender closes the microwave behind him and says the kitchen's closed. And Taylor sees the opportunity to strike, so he goes up to her and he promises he will get her a chicken burrito within 5 minutes. And she doesn't believe him, but the challenge is on. So he slams down the glove and Taylor is out the door. He rushes across the road to the corner store, but they've closed. Just as he arrives, the owner won't let him in. Your adrenaline's pumping. Your heart's racing with questions on a cabin in the woods level. How's he going to solve this problem? What's this going to mean? What does this say about us? So he breaks into the store. And how does he break into the store? He breaks in by crashing through the roof to the Pink Panther theme tune, no less. Breaks through the roof. And then, literally, it's another one of those cut to kind of situations where we cut to him running out the store, being chased by at least 5 cops. At least 5. You'd think they'd have something. How did they get there so fast? We don't know. Are there other problems in the world which are, are there other crimes which need to be solved more than burrito theft? Apparently not in the world of that. He's being chased. And, Pretty Girl is now outside the bar because they've heard the commotion and all the sirens. And it seems like more cops are on the way, by the way, just in case the 5 fail. There is more on the way. So he's being chased and he runs back to the bar and he sees her and he's almost there. And then he gets tasered in the spine and he drops at the feet of this girl just in time, just enough energy to give her the chicken burrito before his unconscious ass is dragged to jail. And this apparently makes him endearing to the girl and is the start of their relationship. And, I would like to say cue titles, but it doesn't go quite that far. But still, that's the start of Battleship. And it's fine. What were we expecting? We've established, in a colourful way, how boy meets girl. And also that, more importantly, Taylor is an irresponsible, impulsive embarrassment. Now, it turns out that the girl is the daughter of Naval Admiral Liam Neeson. And Taylor's brother's career in the Navy is now in jeopardy, he thinks, because of this embarrassment. So he chews out brother for a scene. And again, we establish in a ham-fisted way this time that Taylor is an irresponsible, impulsive embarrassment. Okay, 2 scenes, fine, pad out the running time, whatever. So brother decides that the best thing Taylor can do is turn his life around and join the Navy. And he gets to be in... Basically, it's a wonderful, wonderful idea, the best possible solution, because this way, Taylor can be in close proximity to lots more people he can piss off and dangerous, expensive equipment he can use. It's a brilliant idea. Brilliant idea, brother. So, flash forward a bit, several months at least, and now Brother Skarsgård is a commander. Taylor, God knows how, is a lieutenant. Because the next scene...
It was a really slow year in the military.
Apparently.
Wow.
I don't, that's where the whole several months later tool can come in handy, because if things are moving fast enough, hopefully you won't ask too many questions. So
apparently they needed more burritos.
And apparently Taylor knows how to get him. So,
that's what happened.
This is important. So, Skarsgård's commander, Taylor's a lieutenant. The next scene shows Taylor and his crew playing soccer, English football, with a crew of Japanese. And of course, as you can imagine, Taylor gets into a big fight with one of the Japanese on the field, showing that he is still an irresponsible, impulsive embarrassment. And after that, Taylor is going to ask Admiral Liam Neeson if he can have his daughter's hand in marriage. But before that, he goes into a bathroom to prepare his speech to Admiral Liam Neeson. You know, and it's the one bit of decent acting that Taylor gets to do in the movie. And just for the record, despite everything else I might say, you know, I still like Taylor Kitsch very much. He just, you know, what possibly can you do with this kind of material? But at least he shows charm in this one scene. He's in the bathroom, he's rehearsing what he's going to say to Liam Neeson. But what would you know? The Japanese guy runs into the bathroom too. He needed to use it at the exact same time. And they have another fight, which shows again that Taylor is an irresponsible, impulsive embarrassment. So now, finally, someone notices and does something about it. So Liam Neeson says he's going to have Taylor thrown out of the Navy. But first, for some reason, I'm still trying to figure this out, the fleet will head out of Hawaii into open ocean to engage in Rimac, the Rim of the Pacific exercise, which is the world's largest international maritime exercise, real thing. And Admiral Liam decides it's best to kick Taylor out of the Navy after this really important thing. So for now, he gets to stay a lieutenant on the ship. Oh, and by the way, this is great. When Liam asks Taylor if he has anything else to say after chewing him out, because this is the chance, of course, for Taylor to ask about marrying his daughter, Taylor just wobbles his lip and he says, "No." Ah, you're there, man. You feel so sad. You feel so sad for him. Wonderful lip wobbling there. So, at this point, I'm thinking...
I feel like an Oscar is just coming in our future for this movie.
That's the clip. That's the clip they'll use, I promise you.
Fuck John Carter, just go for this. A good movie, you know.
That would make you so mad. I have no idea. I almost want that to...
It wouldn't make me mad, I'd just be like, I give up! Goodbye, life. Just kill it.
So, at this point, I'm thinking the film has done its setup. We're off to the ocean for Rimac with the big fleet. It's time for the film to start doing what it's supposed to do. But then we get another scene between the two brothers, and Alexander Skarsgård chews Taylor out again for being an irresponsible, impulsive embarrassment. I've got to tell you guys, I have never seen a film try so hard to make one point. 4 or 5 scenes telling us the exact same thing, that this guy should be nowhere near naval equipment. But for some reason, but he is. But anyway, at least it's something to talk about. Because after that, there's barely anything I can recollect as far as the action goes. The fleet heads out to open ocean, the aliens show up in the ocean, and they put up this gigantic shield, which cuts most of the ships off from the rest of the world. Specifically, Liam Neeson's character is left outside of the field, so he can't partake in most of the action. He can't say, "You sunk my battleship," and more specifically, of course, it meant he only got to do a few days' work on the film, and doesn't get to die either. Seems like a missed opportunity there.
That seems surprising. I mean, they blew Alexander Skarsgård's character's fate, but really, no dead Neeson?
At any point during this film, do we hear the village peoples in the Navy?
Oh, please.
The only time you are hearing it is during my review now of the...
Okay.
Such a missed opportunity. And how was Master Chief as the villain?
Oh, so glad you asked. So glad you asked about this. Because, of course, the only other thing in the film worth mentioning are the aliens themselves. If you've seen the trailer, you've got a partial idea of how they look like. They are humanoids with the traditional 3 fingers that some aliens tend to have, long spindly fingers. But they're humanoids wearing leftover armor from the Halo games, or maybe even the abandoned Halo movie, we don't even know. But what do they look like underneath? Now... It's funny, literally just a couple of days ago, the studio did release the clip I'm about to talk about, so the game's up. But it's lovely because it means you can actually see what I'm talking about. They basically have captured one of the aliens, and this is in the trailer. This is the hook, right? What do they look like underneath? What lies beneath do we find out? Oh boy, do we. Oddly enough, we find this out halfway through the film. And it's weird because from that point on, we only ever see the aliens with their helmets on. As if there's still some mystique about them, which there isn't. It's a very odd choice, but what did we expect? So, what do the aliens look like? It's a little hard to describe, but what I would say is picture in your head the cliched image of an old Irish leprechaun type man. Okay?
Okay.
He's got a bald head, he's got a ginger beard with a big tuft of hair dangling from his chin. Now replace the tufty beard with spikes, like the kind you'd find on a sea egg, and give the guy big bug eyes, of course, and a really pale complexion, kind of like the mutants in I Am Legend. That's what the aliens look like in this film. It's the Irish. It's an original... It's an original approach. I'm not taking anything away from it. I think it's brilliant. I loved it. I just wish we got to see them from that point with the helmets off. But there's some bullshit about the fact that the aliens have an aversion to sunlight. But I thought...
So basically this is the sequel to Darby O'Gill and Little People that we've been wanting to see for years.
That you've been wanting to see. I didn't want it. Not like this.
Finally.
And again, but that's another thing which, if you're actually paying attention, which I'm sorry to say actually was at that point, you start to wonder. It's kind of like the aliens in Signs, even though I like that movie a lot, of course. The aliens looked okay, but the big crux was, wait a minute, they're allergic to water. I have so many questions. With this, they have an aversion to sunlight, which is why they wear the helmets and armor that they do. But we've been told they come from a planet which is pretty much identical to Earth. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but we have a sun, and I imagine they do as well. Well, they must do. Most planetary systems do have a sun of some sort. Unless I suppose maybe they're living on the dark side or something, but they never explain that. So it's like, and why did they come here? We have sun, we have plenty of it, especially in America. If they'd come to England to invade, then that makes perfect sense because we never see the sun. But they go to America, it makes no sense at all. So it's just... Really,
Hawaii of all places. Hawaii of all places.
Which never see sunlight.
Yeah, right. Exactly. It's like perfect degrees, 90 days, 90% of the year.
You guys see The Descendants and go, God, this movie needs some sunlight.
Right.
I will say though, it is one of the things where you'll be happy to know if you don't like action sequences that do take place at night. Luckily, most of the film does take place in the daylight, but the action. It basically consists of the aliens firing their main weapon out of their cannons, which, if you've seen the trailer, you've seen a bit of this. They're basically these spiky bowling balls of doom, which can cut through anything. And it's basically it's the perfect excuse that we can have a lot of action take place on land, so it looks more like Transformers. The alien ships are stuck at sea, but they can fire these balls with perfect trajectory, so they will land literally 50 miles away, literally on the beach, and then they'll just roll, and cut through anything in their path. And some of them will attack the battleships, and some of them will fly all the way to land. And it's just like... It's literally like, boom, boom, boom. That's all it is. It's like, occasionally the battleships will fire back with their cannons and they'll get a few shots off. Boom, attack, boom, rinse and repeat. There's no differentiation between the set pieces. There's no actual recognition that we're now experiencing a set piece. Because the whole 2 hours has no build-up. It just merges into one ball of empty spectacle, except we'll occasionally, of course, in this kind of movie, cut back to other characters for pointless stuff, such as the obligatory White House defense briefing type scenes. Now, I don't know if you already know this, but do you know who plays the Secretary of Defense in this film?
No.
Peter McNichol.
Okay.
Janosch from Ghostbusters.
Cut to.
Fucking Janosch is in charge of your safety, America, in the world of Battleship, and it's like he adds nothing to the film. It's not his fault. He's just got nothing to do, except for one bit where I'm so glad I saw this in an empty theatre, because I would have made such a jackass of myself if it was with a crowd. Because there's one bit where I literally I was dead for a minute flat, laughing hysterically. It's basically, of course, Janosch is being briefed on what's happened, who the aliens are, and where they've come from. And the guy from NASA explains the whole project to send a signal out to this world. And at the end, of course, because you need to in a movie like this, because people can't assume that you remember what was said a minute ago, Peter McNichol essentially says, so wait a minute, you sent a message out into space, and it was responded to by aliens? And the NASA guy nods solemnly and looks at the ground in embarrassment as if to say, yeah, we fucked up. I'm sorry. This is the one thing we didn't expect to happen. What the fuck? What the hell? Seriously? I'm not exaggerating this. As soon as this comes out, I'm going to steal a clip and put it on YouTube if someone hasn't beaten me to it. Seriously, they say that. They're like, yeah, we send a signal out. This is kind of what we do, but we're sorry when actually someone answered back. We're really sorry about that. Oh, that's fucking bullshit. Anyway, the rest of it, you can guess pretty much beat for beat. Of course, you've seen this bit in the trailer, the Star Trek ripoff scene. The Taylor's ship is... By the way, this is an important plot point. The ships that are trapped in the field, they're not actually old-fashioned battleships. They're destroyer class. They're new modern warships, which are getting annihilated, and this comes an important plot point. I'll get back to that in a second. So basically, Taylor's ship is fired upon, conveniently only takes out the captain and the first officer. So now we've no captain and no first officer to replace him. Damn it, Jim! So only the lieutenant on the ship can be in charge. So, they very neatly die conveniently so Taylor can take over. Is Taylor going to get the chance at the end to ask Liam Neeson if he can marry his daughter?
I heard about this.
Apparently, and by the way, is Taylor going to win the Silver Star despite the fact that he does nothing to earn it?
I just want to know if he gets the chicken burrito.
I just had a question because you have yet to mention the true star of this film. Because whenever I've seen this trailer and the trailer ends, the entire audience is filled with murmurs of, was that Rihanna? That girl looked like Rihanna. I think that was Rihanna. You have not mentioned her. How was Rihanna?
She's in it. She's there. It's very much a kind of even though I love the movie, it is very much a kind of Michelle Rodriguez in Avatar kind of thing. She's there. She doesn't actually have a character, but she's there, and in sizable portions, because of course she's the only female on the ship that I could notice. I will admit, only good action piece of the movie. It's her who defeats the aliens, not Taylor. Taylor's fighting with the alien on the deck of the ship, and the alien, I guess the helmet clogs his hearing because he can't actually notice that the big forward cannon is actually moving towards his head at point blank range, being controlled by Rihanna in the control room. And you've seen this bit, at least in the Super Bowl spot, where she goes, boom, and the guy gets blown up, and Taylor slow motionly jumps over the side of the deck. So actually Rihanna should get the Silver Star. But yeah, if you're a Rihanna fan...
But she's not white, so she doesn't, is what you're basically saying.
Basically.
Phil.
God damn. How am I supposed to follow up from that? But I will say, I will say one thing to address this, because I think this is important, because I was noticing this week, IGN put up their list of top 10 worst performances by singers in films, and I didn't actually read the article, but I know Rihanna's in there, but it's really unfair, because she's not bad in the film. She's just there. She's not given a character. She's not given a chance to prove she can act, but she's there, and she delivers the lines, and she looks competent, and honestly, if she turns out to be in a actual part in a movie, I'm not going to roll my eyes. I'm going to give her a shot. You honestly can't judge acting on her performance in Battleship because there's just nothing to judge. So, just so you know, folks, I'm pro Rihanna. No problems with that at all. Bright spot of the movie, actually. No, I forgot to mention, of course, as I was saying before, the big plot points that, of course, is very heavily handled. They keep bragging how great the destroyers are. So much better than those old battleships we've left at dock, of course. So, of course, all the destroyers get wiped out. Taylor, Rihanna, and the few crew members that are left have to drag their ass back to shore. And the only ship that's left to fight the alien attack is the decommissioned USS Missouri.
What?
Which of course is now a museum ship. So they get on board, and all of a sudden, of course, it's empty, because, it's the shop's closed, I guess. Then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, you hear the music. You hear, I think Steve Jablonsky, the composer of Transformers, I think he was on this movie as well. So it's that you can understand the kind of music I'm talking about. That driving music where someone's about to pop out of nowhere in slow motion. And who is it, of course? It's the retired naval officers who now run the shop. All guys
my fucking god.
They're all guys in their 70s minimum, and I'm pretty sure these are the real guys, by the way.
Was Wilford Brimley one of them?
No. These are the real guys. These are the real heroes who run the shop and are retired naval officers. All guys, really, really old, and we so rarely get the chance to see old people walking in slow motion to save the day. So that, but they start. Basically, Taylor starts his speech by saying, "You've done so much for this country. I have no right to ask you what I'm about to. But we need the ship, or we're all fucked," basically. And so they say, sure. And of course, they're the only guys who know how the ship runs. So, of course, then we get the montage to
along lines of, as long as you buy a T-shirt, I don't give a shit what you do with this boat.
Actually, just the pandering gets a little bit more heavy-handed than that, because one of the pointless subplots in the movie is that Liam Neeson's daughter, Taylor's girlfriend, is a therapist, and she actually works on shore at a hospital for now disabled and injured naval officers, it seems. And she strikes a relationship with a soldier who's lost both his legs, and now he has robot legs. I'm not joking. Literally.
Wait, what?
Thing is, I haven't done too much research into this, but they might be real, because the actor who plays this guy is a guy called Gregory Gadson, who I looked up because I had a feeling, and it turns out he is actually an occasional actor, but an actual soldier who lost his legs to a roadside bomb while serving in the Middle East. So he's a real paraplegic, has lost both his legs from the ankles down, and those might be his real robot legs. I've no idea. We do know the technology's moving, and it is possible for some people to have those kind of replacements, but just the way they look in the movie, and it's not helped by the fact that they come across one of the panicky scientists from the Hawaiian installation, and he sees the guy, and he says, "Ah, a cyborg!"
No.
Yes, he does.
He does not say that. Really?
Yes, he
Did
does.
Seth MacFarlane make this? What
He
the
thinks
fuck?
it's Terminator. So, and
Dude,
then the guy
that's
just
tasteless. That's not even
That
fun.
is so offensive.
what was I saying? I lost my train of thought. Oh yes, of course, the crux, the denouement, the epilogue. What happens, like Police Squad, this epilogue. So what happens? Taylor asks Liam Neeson, of course, after he's won the Silver Star, I guess he's in a more of a bartering position, to ask whether he's worthy of Liam Neeson's daughter. And Liam says, no. No, wait a minute, sir, no. But don't you say, no. And he just keeps saying, no, you can't. Now, excuse me, I'm going to lunch. Think I'll have a chicken burrito. And then he just walks off. And then, I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure Taylor gives thumbs up to the girl. And I think that's how the movie ends. I think it ends on a thumbs up. I'm not quite sure.
Wait, hold on just a second. So,
What the fuck?
so the movie ends with Taylor Kish giving the movie 2 thumbs up?
Not two.
Oh,
Just a one. It's a rumor kind of thing. But,
why is it that the military always gives their permission on movies where it is just not implausible in any way, shape, or form that this could actually happen? I never understood that. It's like the military, gave the approval to Transformers because you never know, giant robots might actually show up and kill us. I don't understand that.
I can only imagine they want another Top Gun where recruitment goes through the roof after the movie comes out.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
the thing I can think of. Because, isn't that what happened? The military was all with that movie. It was the highest grossing movie of 86, and, just all of a sudden everyone wanted to be fucking Maverick and Iceman.
Yeah. And that actually makes more plausible sense.
Sure.
People, hey, go join the Navy, get to fly ships, and get laid. That, of course, that's a total recruitment movie. I'm surprised Maverick and Iceman don't show up in this.
Don't say it out loud. They might think they might do something.
And that last scene with Cruz and Kilmer. I'm your wingman, man.
If they did, it was in an after credits cameo, and as you can imagine, I did not stay for the end credits. I bailed the fuck out of it as soon as it was over. And it doesn't make any sense as a recruitment film because, as you've already know, as I've just told you, the entire naval fleet is wiped out. The modern battleships, the destroyers, are no match for the aliens. They flat out say that. The only hope is a battleship that was made however many decades ago, and old people save our ass. So it's just... So, it's coming your way May 18th. If you want it. If you want it, America, it's yours. You can have it. I'm glad I saw it. I wish I'd seen it with you. But hopefully you feel like you were there with me as I've described it tonight for you.
This movie got, if you remember, they started filming this movie 2 years ago, and they had all the web guys doing stuff.
And it wasn't funny then!